my chosen one. There is a powerful shift happening in your nights that you can feel but can't quite name. It's that deep, strange quiet in the hours before dawn. A distinct symbol flashing in your mind's eye. A sentence you know you heard but don't know where. This isn't random. Most people scroll through their dreams like they're just background noise, but you're being selected to decode divine patterns. The simple truth that many choose to ignore is that you don't dream by accident. Heaven is far too intentional to waste a single vision. God is speaking when your conscious eyes are closed so that the eyes of your soul can open and see beyond the everyday veil. You've seen impossible things. A door where there's no wall. A serpent that doesn't belong in your bedroom. Water that changes its shape and mood. This is not your overworked imagination. Think of it as a spiritual briefing. An encrypted message meant only for those who have the spiritual capacity to receive it. If you are still reading this, it's not simply an accident or a mild curiosity. It is a powerful confirmation that you are under divine instruction, and your night isn't meant for just rest. It's a time of activation. Tonight, we will uncover the 7 crucial dreams God uses to communicate with you, speaking straight to your spirit without the interference of your waking mind. By the time we finish, you will look at your sleep with a completely new, prophetic expectation. If water has recently filled your dreams, you can't just remember the image. You must aggressively interpret it. Water in the spiritual realm is more than just a physical element. It's a living main language mesh that heaven uses to speak about your soul's condition. When God uses water, the message is never surface level. Perhaps you found yourself drowning, pulled down by forces you couldn't see, struggling desperately for a breath. This isn't a mere reflection of fear. It's a vivid revelation that you are being swallowed by unaddressed emotions and wounds you've buried too deep for daylight healing. It's an urgent spiritual call from God to swim back to the sure one of confession and clarity before you lose the battle in silence. The water might have been the complete opposite. Clear, still, calm, and deeply peaceful. This kind of dream is not just quiet rest. It's a powerful sign of alignment. The Spirit is powerfully confirming that you are flowing perfectly with God's will, even if the external world is screaming with uncertainty and chaos. You are exactly where you are meant to be. But what if the water was wild? Waves aggressively crashing, storms suddenly rising, currents ruthlessly pulling you into the terrifying unknown. You are not in danger in that moment. You are in a transition. God is actively shaking loose the old stagnant structures inside of you. His purpose isn't to destroy you or to punish you. It is to cleanse you and prepare you for what's next. Remember, water does more than just reflect your image. It completely reveals you, shows you exactly where you are resisting his movement, and highlights the very place where he is preparing to baptize you into a dimension of life that is so much greater. And here is the essential twist that most believers miss. Your reaction to the water in the dream is a profound mirror of your reaction to the divine in your waking, real life. Do you instinctively run from it? Desperately try to micromanage it? Or do you willingly let it carry you forward? The water dream is not just a symbol to be analyzed. It's a direct question. God is patiently waiting for your answer. So the next time you encounter water in your sleep, don't waste time asking, "What does this image mean?" Shift the focus and ask, "Lord, where are you urgently trying to take me that my persistent fear refuses to let go of?" This is the core of the message. We must now dive even deeper, because if the water uncovers the secrets of your soul and where you are stuck, the next powerful dream reveals the insidious things hiding in the shadows around you, waiting to strike. Keep your eyes and your spirit open and focused. Chosen one. When a snake silently slithers into your dreams, you are not simply having a random nightmare or being haunted by something from your past. You are being urgently alerted. This is a powerful coded message lying straight from the spiritual realm. The serpent does not speak a language you know. It signals a warning. When it appears, you are being notified about something your spirit has already strongly suspected, but your rational, logical mind has stubbornly refused to confront or believe. If you feel the sharp pain of being bitten on in the dream, That venom is never physical. It is the emotional poison, gossip, betrayal, or intense jealousy that is being viciously injected into your life by someone who may be currently smiling to your face but is secretly praying for your catastrophic downfall. The precise location of the bite is a critical detail, and it absolutely matters. A bite upon your hand means your hand calling is currently under a direct attack and they are trying to strip your power. A bite on your foot means they are actively attempting to redirect your path away from your divine destiny. But what if you never actually saw the snake? What if it was hidden under your bed, camouflaged in the tall grass, or, most terrifyingly, just behind a loved one? This is not just a general fear. This is an active state of spiritual surveillance. You are being silently watched and tracked by a camouflaged threat. Someone you intimately trust may, in fact, be the very doorway or access point the enemy is actively using to draw incredibly close to you. Now, consider the ultimate moment. What if you kill the snakes in your dream? Do not, under any circumstance, overlook that victory. That is a loud, powerful victory in the unseen. It is a silent but potent deliverance. Spiritual battle you won while your physical body was sound asleep, but your spirit was standing tall and fully armored. God sends these potent serpent dreams not to scare you into panic, but to relentlessly sharpen you. They are meant to activate your discernment radar, so that you stop naively believing every single kind word you hear, and start testing every spirit you encounter. This is the truth that absolutely no one wants to say aloud. Some smiles are carrying deadly venom, and some public prayers are actually curses wearing a disguise. Your dream is the only safe, sacred place where that mask finally and completely slips. So the next time a snake appears, don't retreat or panic. Stand still and ask boldly, Lord, who in my life is dangerously close enough to bite me, yet strategically silent enough to deceive me? The answer will be made clear. Now get ready for the next revelation. Because if the snake reveals the hidden enemy in your life, the next powerful dream shows you exactly what God is opening up for you to walk through. Stay right here and do not move. Chosen one. When a fierce door appears prominently in your dream, you are not simply observing common wood and hinges. You are standing directly at a powerful spiritual threshold. Heaven is using this image to show you a truth that the natural world is incapable of revealing. Your life is on the immediate verge of a monumental unshift. Whether the door is wide open, firmly locked, slightly cracked, or even mysteriously disappears, every single detail is a potent code, a revelation about the precise timing and trajectory of your divine calling. If the door is already unopened, don't rush to celebrate too quickly. It's not just pure access. It's always a buntestory. Understand that what you are about to walk into was prayed for by the version of you that barely managed to survive the challenges of last year. An open door unequivocally means your next hunt season is available and ready for you, but your simple obedience to walk through it is the non-negotiable key. Conversely, if the door is firmly locked, do not immediately curse the perceived delay. God, in His infinite wisdom, may be actively protecting something you are genuinely not yet spiritually mature or prepared to carry. A locked door is never a sign of outright rejection. It is more often than not a sign of career preservation. Sometimes the deep silence of heaven is a far more powerful and loud answer than any loud yes could ever be. But if you dream of a seat or broken door, pay extremely close attention. This is a vivid sign of a security breach in the spirit. It signifies that something or someone has aggressively tried to force their way into your space. This specific dream means that an enemy has successfully located your current access point and is desperately attempting to sabotage your next move before you even consciously make it. God utilizes these powerful door dreams to relentlessly recalibrate your discernment. Remember, not everything that is open to you is inherently divine. Not everything that is closed is a personal punishment, and not every hallway is meant for your feet to walk on. However, the meaning deepens significantly if you find yourself simply standing in front of a mysterious door, completely unable to move forward and utterly uncertain of what lies behind it. The message may not actually be about the door itself. It may be a direct reflection of your own internal readiness. It's possible that you've been fervently praying for a future that you have not yet mentally or spiritually allowed yourself to step into. So when you encounter that dream again, the imposing handle, the long hallway, the profound unknown behind the wood, ask yourself this challenging question. Do I genuinely have the faith in to finally walk through the very thing I relentlessly begged God to send into my life? Now listen extremely carefully, because the next crucial dream isn't about inert objects or physical spaces. It's about something profoundly alive, and what it carries has the potential to unlock your entire spiritual blueprint. Chosen one. When a baby crow appears in your dream, the central message is not about innocence. It is fundamentally about responsibility. You are not being shown a common child. You are being shown a one seed as a divine and sacred deposit. Something deeply fragile, yes, but profoundly holy. Something seemingly small but ultimately destined to high-shift nations and generations. A baby nestled in your arms means God has fully entrusted you with something sacred. A vision, a purpose, a spiritual assignment that was specifically designed for you before your physical body was even born. But the mere fact that it is now in your hands does not automatically mean it is safe or secure. You are still required to diligently feed it, protect it, and aggressively fight for it. If the baby is clearly crying in your dream, you must never ignore that sound. That is not just noise or a random disturbance. That is your paw calling, urgently begging for your immediate attention. You have delayed a critical action for too long, put off a necessary act of obedience, and consistently doubted your own God-given capacity. Heaven, however, is simply done waiting for you to catch up. And if you see a baby that has been visibly abandoned or left alone, that is the most urgent spiritual alarm of all. It means you have carelessly walked away from something eternal, a spiritual pregnancy that has been left completely unattended. Just like a newborn child in the physical realm, if you choose not to intentionally nurture this spiritual deposit, it will simply not survive your neglect. This dream is not about conventional motherhood or fatherhood. This is about your legacy. You have been carrying a significant weight in the spirit for a long time. Perhaps you lack the necessary language to describe it. Perhaps no one in your immediate circle can see it or understand it, but you know deep down it is there. A persistent pressure, a spiritual stirring, a divine weight. You simply cannot logically explain away. And here is the profound truth that most fail to grasp. The enemy is not truly afraid of who you are right now. He is absolutely terrified of what you are carrying. This explains why the spiritual warfare and attacks in your life have increased exponentially. This is why your very high sleep has changed so dramatically. It's because something inside of you is on the immediate verge of a powerful emergence. So the next time you dream of a baby, don't ask, "What is this thing?" Ask instead, "God, how exactly do I raise and protect what you have just birthed into me?" We now move into the deep realm where the spiritual veil is thin, where your past actively tries to speak to you, and where you must remember that not every presence comes in peace. Keep watching and stay completely vigilant, chosen one. There are dreams that gently whisper to you, and then there are dreams that violently pierce your soul. When someone who has passed away visits you in the night, you are not simply engaging in a random act of remembering or nostalgia. You are being powerfully summoned into a sacred realm where the living world and the eternal sphere briefly but meaningfully intersect. This is not simply your grief resurfacing. Sometimes this is God intentionally speaking through your memory, using the deeply familiar image of a loved one to completely bypass your rigid logic and reach the most vulnerable part of your soul, the part that still listens when your defenses are down. Perhaps the person spoke clear words to you. Perhaps they simply looked at you with a profound and unmistakable meaning. Or perhaps they remained utterly silent, but you woke up with an unexplained, intense crying. That intense emotion is not a feeling. It is a message, or God may be bringing you long overdue closure, healing a deep, unseen wound you never fully processed, or he could be passing on a vital, prophetic instruction that your logical, conscious mind would have immediately dismissed or rejected in the harsh light of day. These dreams are sometimes also powerful, ancestral awakenings, a stark reminder that a deep generational battle has reached its final, most capable warrior. You could hear this truth absolutely clearly. Not every presence in that dream is divine. The enemy is a dangerous master of calculated disguise. Some of these dreams are simply spiritual counterfeits, cheap imitations meticulously designed to distract, dangerously deceive, or deliberately detour you from your path. How can you tell the crucial difference? It is not in the specific words that are spoken. It is in what is left behind in your spirit when you wake. If the dream leaves behind a deep sense of awe, peace, conviction, or absolute clarity, then heaven has touched you. If it leaves behind crippling confusion, intense fear, or unhealthy obsession, then it was deliberately sent to distort you. This is precisely why your unwavering discernment is your greatest shield. When the deceased or the memory of them appears, you must ask, not with emotionality, but with firm high spiritual authority, Lord, was this message from you? Or was it simply a shadow wearing a memory? Oh, because our chosen ones are not just mere dreamers. We are powerful as gatekeepers, and not every spirit, regardless of how familiar it seems, deserves access to your life or your sleep. Now we must quickly cross from the invisible realm of spirits to the undeniable realm of the inevitable. The next dream doesn't whisper from the past, it violently drags you from the present, and immediately tests whether you are truly standing on solid rock or a weak illusion. Brace yourself for impact. Chosen one. There is a particular kind of dream that doesn't arrive with gentle symbols or soft sounds. It arrives with raw impact, a sudden stomach-dropping fall, a sharp "e" that violently snaps you awake. Your heart is fiercely racing. Your entire spirit is shaken to its core. You are utterly convinced you are falling. But this profound experience is not mere anxiety or your mind spiraling out of control. It is your spirit being powerfully interrupted. When God permits you to fall in a dream, He is not trying to actively punish you. He is desperately trying to reposition you for something greater. Maybe you are finally losing the control of something you were never divinely meant to manage alone. This could be a relationship, a professional title, or a specific role you have already spiritually outgrown. Instead of simply letting go, you've been white-knuckling a specific version of your life that He has already clearly called you out of. Or perhaps you are stubbornly clinging to pride, to deeply held illusions of false stability, to social platforms you deliberately built on human fear instead of divine faith. And the dramatic fall is God's ultimate mercy, intentionally stripping away everything that is false before it collapses under its own weight, taking you down with it. And yet sometimes He lets you fall almost all the way to the ground just to powerfully show you that He still catches you. What you initially perceived as a major failure was, in reality, a divine formation. It was a spiritual reset button pressed by the Almighty, intended not to break your spirit, but to rebuild you completely on an unshakable foundation of truth. Here's the part that few truly understand. Falling in a dream does not always signify immediate danger. It can actually mean you are finally being successfully separated from everything that was never truly you in the first place. Your ego, your pride, your need for control. He is tearing it all down now. So the right question is not, why am I falling? It is, what have I meticulously built my entire identity on that God is now aggressively shaking? The fall is never the end of your story. It is the necessary start of something truly grounded and real. As you awaken, breathless, confused, and afraid, the single, clear whisper from heaven is this: when everything else in your life utterly collapses, I alone remain your foundation. But what happens when that feeling of falling is finally over, yet you still feel intensely watched, as if something unseen sees you, even when there is nothing visible there? Get ready because the final, most important dream does not shake your body. It deeply uninvades your entire spiritual atmosphere. Chosen one. This ultimate dream code does not involve the usual monsters, no fire, no dizzying fall, and no chaos. It is simply a profound, overwhelming mid-air feeling that you are being watched. Not by a person, not by anything you can name or logically classify, but by something utterly unseen, yet undeniably, heavily present. You nervously look around in the dream, and there is nothing physical. Yet the air around you is thick, heavy, and palpable. You feel deeply judged, measured, and intimately known. And this is not a random occurrence. This is not simple paranoia. This is a sign of extreme spiritual awareness. You have consciously or unconsciously crossed a major spiritual threshold. You are now officially on the radar set of realms you weren't even aware were actively monitoring you. When you have been powerfully marked by destiny, both heaven and hell immediately take notice of your every action. Angels are keenly observing your profound growth. Demons are meticulously studying your every weakness. The spiritual atmosphere itself becomes intensely aware of your presence and your purpose. This dream is your ultimate confirmation. You are no longer invisible to the invisible forces around you. But here is the critical part that most believers completely miss. You are not being watched because you are spiritually weak. You are being watched because you are spiritually dangerous. Your anointing is rapidly rising. Your spiritual authority is exponentially growing. The spirit realm is closely tracking your every single move, because your next conscious decision has the power to activate a massive generational shift in the world. This dream is a vital eye briefing. God is showing you that you have now become a key, undeniable player in a severe spiritual war that others are still completely sleeping through. You are no longer hidden or protected by simple obscurity. You have been completely revealed to the spirit realm. That is why you feel so profoundly exposed, because you are, spiritually speaking, lit up like a massive signal tower, fully visible to both darkness and to light. So the next time you feel those invisible, weighty eyes upon you, do not run from the feeling. Do not shrink back in fear. Instead, stand tall. Because that intense spiritual gaze means this. Your undeniable the time to move, to speak, and to lead has finally and urgently arrived. You've been seen. Now you must start acting like the powerful person you are truly called to be. But before we finally close this sacred moment, there is one final, crucial thing you absolutely must hear. One ultimate truth that powerfully ties every single dream together. If you miss this next moment, you may completely miss the entire profound purpose of why these dreams were ever given to you in the first place. Stay with me for this final awakening, chosen one. What you casually used to call just dreams were never merely random occurrences. They were and still are heavenly blueprints, encrypted spiritual codes, and sacred detailed instructions hidden deep within your night visions. While others are simply distracted by the noise of the world, you are being actively activated. While others are sleeping in ignorance, you are being trained by heaven itself. Every single symbol, every raw emotion, every unexplainable image you couldn't logically process upon waking was heaven's way of profoundly marking you. God is intentionally hiding powerful messages within a mystery, so that only those who are already awake in the spirit can ever hope to understand them. He is not and never has been silent. He has been aggressively speaking to you while you sleep, because your Sarkai spirit was ready back down to receive the deep truth long before your conscious mind could ever truly comprehend it. So, tonight do not go to bed like you always have. Do not simply close your eyes as if nothing significant is actually happening in the dark. Lie down with an intense expectation, with a powerful singular purpose, with a fierce prophetic readiness. Because those who are truly called by God do not merely rest when the world sleeps. They are not easily distracted by the noise of the day. They discern with the whispers of the night. They do not merely dream random images. They'll receive maps of you and sacred marching orders. Declare it right now in your spirit. God, speak to me while I sleep. Let the codes keep flooding in. Let your soul stay powerfully awake even in the deepest dark. Amen.